Now another hour of 580 CFRA's Experts on Call. Tips, information, and advice from professionals and business owners in our community.
Welcome back to this hour of Experts on Call. I'm Elliot Fickelman with you for the next hour, along with our very, very special guest, expert, friend, long list of titles I could give this man, Thom Bourne, President and General Manager of Nutri-Lawn Ottawa. Tom, welcome again.
Thank you very much, Elliot.
It's always good to be with you. Last time I saw you, I think, was around a blackjack table.
It was around a blackjack table, yes, and it was play money, however.
That's right. It was a special event you had arranged. Tom is the new president at the Ottawa Executive Association.
That is correct.
And you had a
wonderful association.
Quite a soiree that night. So it was a very fun evening that you organized, and everybody had a good time. But we're here to talk about something a lot of people are dealing with right now, and that's where's my lawn gone? Where is my lawn gone? Let me just, before we delve right into it, because people here, it's Nutri-Lawn is on the air. They may have some questions. Let me give out the phone numbers right off the top. Then you and I are going to start talking a little bit about the current situation and what people should be looking out for. 613, well, we all know that part. It's 521-8255, 521-TALK, star 580, 1-800-580-CFRA. Now, if you look across your street and your lawn's not bad, but your neighbor's not, go knock on their door and tell them to give us a call because, Tom, what's happening on your neighbor's lawn can also happen on your lawn. Is that?
Oh, absolutely. With some of the problems that are out there, with the beetles have landed, the beetles have laid their eggs, the grubs are starting to come out. And I just showed you a minute ago how small they are right now, about the size of the top of a pin. And those grubs are hatching, and they are going to cause a lot of damage very, very soon. Now,
grubs, it's seasonal. They come and they go. Ottawa, we have a pretty constant problem here with grubs.
Yeah, they've really become a very constant problem in the last 5 or 6 years. Years ago, it was always easy to say, well, if you live in this neighborhood, you have them. But now we can say they're everywhere in the city. They're causing devastation everywhere. And a lot of it's because we no longer have the same products that we had before to control them. So they've definitely gotten out of control. They've moved from area to area because you have to think of how they work, Elliot, is these beetles fly around, and they can fly all over the city. They land on your lawn, and they don't care what lawn, but they'll land there, and they'll lay 40 eggs, and those 40 eggs will hatch, and they turn into beetles. So if you were looking a couple weeks ago and you saw up at the light post in the light, and you saw hundreds of beetles flying around, well, that's hundreds times 40 eggs that are landing on neighborhood lawns.
Now, is that those little brown kind of, like you say, beetles? And
yeah, most people call them June beetles, July beetles, May-June beetles. There's all sorts of names for them. But the particular one we're looking at is the European chafer. That's the guy that's causing all the problem. It's a 1-year life cycle, so it is eating at a fantastic rate just so it has enough food to bring it into winter so that it can repopulate again next year.
Now, they eat away at the lawn on one end and the bottom, and then the animal is wanting to get them eat at the top end, right? So it's a double whammy when you get them.
Yeah, it absolutely is. What's going to happen really soon is the raccoons and the skunks, et cetera, are going to find out that these grubs are on people's lawns, and they're going to start digging for them. And the birds will start digging for them as well. It hasn't happened just yet. Won't happen for a while. In fact, if you go to our Facebook page, you'll see a picture of a grub that one of our technicians took just last week, and just shows you how small they are.
It's kind of interesting. You bring up raccoons coming in the neighborhood and stuff like that with the green bins and the different way. Now, the last thing we need is more animals in the neighborhood. Yeah. So don't feed the bears, as they say. Yeah. Don't feed the raccoons. Yeah. So there are some solutions to this. Are we too late for solutions? Or do we need to get on it now?
We're spot on. We just started applying the nematodes, and this is a parasitic roundworm that climbs up inside the grubs. We just started applying them last week. We'll apply them right into October. So there's no exact day, et cetera, to apply them. Just we have to get them down now so that the small grubs can be affected by the nematodes. It's what we have to watch out for when we're applying these. And this is, we'll get into professional grade nematodes in a minute, but there are a lot of things you have to watch out for when you're applying, and doing it what we call the residential way, the way that, just going to the store and grabbing them from the big box store is a little bit of a problem. It's very problematic. And you do need to get them applied by a professional to have it done right and make sure that you are going to get the control, because it doesn't matter how good you are at it. You are still only going to get up to 60%. So you need to have every advantage you can and that's why you book it with the professionals. You know, it's a pleasure on this show because I'm able to talk to people about how much money they can save. Because when these grubs get hold of your lawn, and it's about $2 a foot for sod to redo your lawn, and you have a 4,000 square foot lawn, if these grubs take it out, that's a lot of money. That is not in the budget.
You know, this morning when I got up on my way to the show, you know, I went out. It's a beautiful day outside, and I walked on my lawn as, you know, it's right there, and I looked across the street, and I realized, you know, my neighbor had to replace their lawn this year. My lawn is 20 years old, and I remember the day, and we've been dealing for that long, Tom. That's Nutri-Lawn has been doing my lawn in my home, in my neighborhood, and a lot of my neighbors, as a matter of fact. We see your trucks around all the time. Yeah. My lawn pretty much looks just like the day it was put in, and you know, it's been well maintained, and I don't do a thing of it. It's all your job. It's all the Nutri-Lawn people. And we're going to talk about, as you mentioned, the nematodes, but can we step back for a second and just talk about your service from a point of view of what can people expect from Nutri-Lawn when we get you to do? I know what service I get. It's fantastic, but I want to hear it from you. And by the way, if folks wanted to call the office now, there's somebody in there right now, right?
Oh, more than somebody. There's people in the office.
The whole team's there at 739-3399 if you wanted to get some more information. But call Tom in the air here at 521-8255. Let's talk about the service. And what do I expect? What's the process?
Yeah, let's look at the big picture here for a second in the whole Nutri-Lawn service group. And the Nutri-Lawn service group consists of lawn care, which we've been doing for over 24 years now. Irrigation we've been doing for just shy of 20 years. In fact, on irrigation, we just received a really nice contract with the Lansdowne Parks. We're doing the entire park for irrigation, which is great. We also have a landscape lighting company, and our landscape lighting company is I always describe that in my elevator pitch is when you drive by a house during the day and it looks like a not a very nice house, and then you drive by that same house at night and it's all lit up and you think, wow, that looks like $1 million home. That's because we've put landscape lighting into it, and it makes a huge difference. And the other thing we have, which is a lot of fun, which is our Christmas decor division. And people think that that's just at Christmas time. Well, we just started up last week as well and had our first meetings on that and getting things ramped up for Christmas. So that's what the Nutri-Lawn service group is, and these are all very viable businesses. These are nothing is part-time. We have over 85 people in the company that handle, manage, work with all these all the time. So specifically, though, on the lawn care side of it, with the service that we offer on that, and the big thing is educating our customers, making sure that they know what they need to do to make their property look really good. And we want to give everybody a spectacular lawn. So we'll come out and we'll do the fertilizer treatments. And we do usually 5 applications, sometimes 4 in people's lawns. We do core aeration, seeding situations. We do overseeding, split seeding, hydro seeding. These are all things that we can do for people to repair their lawns. And of course, and what's really big right now as well is the weed control. And we can control most weeds, not all weeds, because there aren't pesticides anymore. We are using natural products because that's all that's available in Ontario. And these natural products, Fiesta, can control enough of the weeds that your lawn will still look very, very good. Well,
you know what? When it gets down to only having a couple in there, picking them out, often your people might even just snap one out if it's something little.
When they come back at the end of the night and they're emptying things out of the back of their truck, they've always picked up a few weeds here and there as well. The weeds that are not controllable. But, the dandelions and the ones that are obnoxious to us, that look obnoxious, those we can control very, very well.
Yeah, and that's one thing I can tell you, because you do, again, my lawn, I've never picked out a weed. It's just fabulous that way. I also wanted to mention, and we're going to take a break. We'll come back. We're going to get back into the nematodes because we want to save lawns right now. But I did want to mention one of the nice things when your people come by, either they knock on the door, a little night, and it's not a, they're not going to, if you don't come to the door, they're not going to interrupt you, but they'll let you know they're there, let you know what they're doing, and they always leave a note with some instructions, what to do, what not to do, what they've done. Maybe lift the, when you're mowing, lift the blade a little bit or water just a little bit more or not, and what they've put on the lawn so that you know what's been done. And it's, like I said, it's worry-free, it's hassle-free. 521-8255, 521-TALK, star 580 on the Bell Mobility System. We're ready to take your calls. Thom Bourne, President and General Manager, Nutri-Lawn, Ottawa. I'm Elliot Finkelman, sitting in with you for the next hour. And you can give us a call here, either on the air or give the Nutri-Lawn folks a call directly, 613-739-3399, and check them out at NutriLawnOttawa.com. We'll be back right after this on News Talk Radio 580 CFRA.
There's more Experts on Call in a moment on News Talk Radio 580 CFRA. We now return to Experts on Call on News Talk Radio 580 CFRA.
Welcome back, 121. If you have a lawn, you do want to be tuned in right now. Thom Bourne, I always just want to say friend, because that's, he's the president of GM of Nutri-Lawn Ottawa, but you know what? I've been a client for so long, and we've become friends, and you're like that with a lot of people, and, in the community, you're very involved in the community, your company. One thing I can tell you, integrity. You walk it, you talk it, you live it, and you've won a lot of awards, and Nutri-Lawn has won a lot of awards, and, you're at the helm of it. You are, Commander Thom. I just heard your ad, and I thought, little space aliens there, and you can be Commander Thom. So let's talk just a little bit about that credibility and what makes you different. You mentioned off the air something that was, you're local. When I pick up the phone and I phone in, I'm talking to somebody right here in Ottawa that knows it rained last night, that knows the conditions here. They're not up in some call center somewhere who have no idea that, what the weather is.
Absolutely. And even more importantly, that these people have had on-lawn training on Ottawa lawns. They have not been in some other country or some other part of the province having their training. They've been here. They've gone on the lawns. They see the issues. They see the grub damage. They see the chinch bug damage. All these things are very much local and relevant to them. And we're not talking one or two people in the office either. As I said before, we have over 80 people in the company, and there's probably about 15 people in the office at any given time that are handling calls and making sure people are getting their work done on time and things are flowing very smoothly. And these are very skilled people and people that have been with me a long time. I have people that have been with us, many people with us over 20 years. And that's very good. And whether it be irrigation or lawn care, these people have they know Ottawa well, and it's their home, and they treat it accordingly.
You even have the real Penny Lane working for you, don't you?
We have the real Penny Lane.
If anybody ever wants to know where Penny Lane from the Beatles song is, she works at Nutri-Lawn.
She does.
But you're right. I talk to the same people over and over, and when I call, it's the immediate recognition of both our voices, and they just know your lawn, they know you, they know what services, and you said something probably inadvertently, but you said they learned on lawn, not online.
Right.
They learn on lawn, so they really know their stuff. Consultations. If I'm looking at my lawn, I have no idea what's wrong. I don't, and I've done this. I phoned in. You've got trucks all over the place.
Yeah, we're at any given day, we're rolling 35 trucks out of the compound over on Belfast Road, of an acre of land there, and we've been there for many years. But what we advertise with that and what we do is unlimited on-lawn consults. If somebody doesn't understand their lawn, if they have issues that they don't understand, or if they just want to tell us that we're doing a fantastic job, we will come to their lawn on their schedule and we will walk them through what it is. And if we have to do that 10 times, then fine, we'll do that 10 times, because we want people to have spectacular lawns. We want them to have the best lawns in the city. And it's very important for us to, and sometimes it's really tough to say, you have to raise your cutting height. You have to water more often. And some people just think our service is, is a miracle service, is just going to do that for them. No, it doesn't. There is some contribution that's required by the client, the customer. They have to do their part, we do our part, and they will get that spectacular lawn. But the unlimited online consults, for our people to be able to do that, they have to understand what it is that's happening in the Ottawa community.
But you do a lot less work if you maintain this year after year after year.
Oh.
I really, honestly, and I'm not just saying this, I really don't do a lot of work on my lawn. I don't have to. You fertilize it, you do all the things, and you've worked out a program. And my neighbors often comment on it. I've got the nicest lawn in the neighborhood, and it's just constant. And if I do forget to do something, my lawn's a lot more forgiving than somebody else's lawn because they haven't taken care of it.
That's right. You'll have the root structure that can withstand some of these things, which is so true. So, for example, what's going to happen with the grubs that are coming up? If you have a good root structure, you're going to see less damage from the grubs. If you don't have a good root structure, in other words, you're cutting too short, or you're not watering, or you're not fertilizing, for instance, or not using the right type of fertilizer, then which is very important. It's just using Ottawa blend fertilizer. Then when the grubs hit, they're going to destroy your lawn very, very quickly. A lawn can withstand. A really healthy lawn can 5, maybe even up to 10 grubs per square foot. Once you get beyond that, you have to have a lot of help. But if you have a weak lawn, then you just get 1 or 2 grubs and your lawn is toast.
Now, what about watering this? What effect does that have on the grubs?
Well, it doesn't have any effect on the grubs. They don't care. They live outside. They're used to the rainfall,
Right.
et cetera. So, but when we put the nematodes down, the nematodes need to move around in the channels in the soil. So we put them down in such a way that, let me start over just a little bit on that. When we leave our shop in the morning, we pull, these nematodes are fresh. They are coming out of our freezers in the back of the shop. We take those and we put them into the trucks. We mix in a surfactant, which is kind of a soap-like material, which helps them slide into the soil when we put them down. Now, the other thing we do, though, before any of our trucks leave, is we check in a microscope to make sure that they're alive. And they have to be. And if they're not squirming around, in fact, we'll be posting that up on our Facebook page. I think it's next Wednesday it's going up. And we're actually going to show you a picture of our nematodes live off of one of our trucks. So we know they're live when they're going out. Now, here's the other thing that we do. This time of year, all our lawn care trucks start to split up. Some come in at 6 o'clock in the morning, some come in later on in the day, because nematodes cannot be put down in the middle of the day if it's a high UV. Today, it's a very sunny day outside. We would not be out putting nematodes down. We would do them tonight. We would do them first thing this morning, but we will not do them when the UV is high, because by the time it gets out of the hose and hits the ground, they would be dead if we tried that.
Now, does anybody think that when they go to the big box store that the clerk has any concept of that whatsoever? And they don't, right? I mean, most don't. And
I think it's funny because you go into the big box store, you go to the freezer unit, they're the cooling unit they have, and you say, oh, you're out of nematodes. The guy runs out in the back, pulls them off a hot shelf, and comes and puts them in a freezer unit. Like, what good is that? That's not doing anything for anybody.
You have no idea. It would be like going to the drugstore and just not going to a pharmacy, picking up your drugs somewhere and just trusting that they knew how to handle them properly.
So we go through all of these things for our clients, and then on top of that, we check back with them to make sure they're watering and remind them, because they may not be the habit of watering, to make sure that's going on. And then, of course, in the next application of their fertility, et cetera, we're double checking and making sure that things are in a good place. But nematodes only control up to 60%, so you have to have that healthy lawn. You have to have the fertility and the seeding and all these other things that go along with it. To keep the good lawn going.
Now, safety, and when I think of safety, not just of your workers, but I've got a nice lawn. We've got some kids. We've got some dogs. Your people come by and they put a little sign in my lawn saying what was put down there. And sometimes people look and go, "Ooh, should I stay off of that lawn or not stay off of the lawn?" Nematode, this is safe. Yeah. We don't have to worry about it.
Any product that we put down on your lawn, you can just walk on the lawn afterwards. We put signs on to say that it's there. But let's, for instance, our Fiesta, that's an iron-based product. It's iron is the fourth most common mineral in the world. This is just not going to cause
take iron
any
pills
harm.
themselves.
It's iron. Then the nematodes are parasitic roundworms. They don't cause any issue. The fertilizer, the fertility is all natural as well. So everything we use, you can go right back on the lawn. We want people to stay off and water it. That's really good. Right. We don't want you putting it into your house on your shoes and things like that. But you follow our instructions, which are always very, very clear. And if you don't have them, you call our office.
It's just I wanted to get out the safety factor because if you're walking, one of the neighbors is walking by and they saw the truck was there and they happen to cut across the lawn, they don't have to worry for the rest of the afternoon that maybe they've done something awful and their kids ran across the lawn and, oh my God, what do I do? Yeah. It's not the area, the dog walks across or runs across.
Not a problem.
Not a problem. So I think one of the biggest problems a lot of people have, they don't know what damage they have or what it's caused. Is there some visual clue that you can give them right after the break? Because the music just went on. When we come back, we'll talk about that, Tom. And we're going to talk about chinch bugs, which is different than grubs.
Totally different.
So if you don't know the difference between chinch bugs and grubs, stick around. 521-8255, 521-TALK. Any lawn-related question, Tom is absolutely your man. You can look them up at NutriLawnOttawa.com. Call their office directly, 613-739-3399. Experts on call with Nutri-Lawn, Thom Bourne, and Elliot will be back right after this on News Talk Radio 580 CFRA.
580 CFRA's Experts on Call returns in a moment. Now, back to 580 CFRA's Experts on Call.
Welcome back. 134 on 580 CFRA. Elliot Finkelman, along with Thom Bourne, President and General Manager of Nutri-Lawn Ottawa. And we're talking about saving your lawn. That guy says save your money, save your lawn. And actually, it's all ties in together with actually saving your money. Because as Tom mentioned earlier, if you were listening in, What's it cost to replace a lawn? $2 a...
It's about $2 a foot right now for a good quality sod.
That's just the sod. Does that include install or no?
No, if you want to install it, well, that's with your back.
So wow, that's like you say, a 4,000 square foot lawn is worth like $8,000 in sod.
It can, yeah.
Wow,
it's very, very expensive, and for nematodes from us, it's $125, and you save all that aggravation, or you may have to replace a small section, but you don't have to replace the entire lawn, and that's so key on this.
Wow.
So key.
And we're going to talk about a couple of different things, and to protect a lawn like that as well, we can talk a little bit about irrigation shortly. But there's another, we were just talking about grubs, and they're on their way. You got to move now. You have to get a program down. If you wait, what happens if you wait, Tom? It's just, that's it, tough luck?
Yeah, it's a waiting game at that point to find out if you did get them or if you didn't. But every neighborhood now has them. So the chances of you getting grubs and grub damage is very, very high.
So if anybody just goes for a walk around the block, they're going to see.
They're going to see a lot of. They won't see a lot of damage on that. They're going. If they see damage right now, that's going to be chinch bugs, and we'll talk about that in half a second here. But with the grubs, we did more repairs than this year, this spring, than we've ever done. And that's people that did not have nematodes, and they had their raccoons and the skunks dig up their lawns in the spring, and it was terrible. And we did hundreds and hundreds of slit seeding jobs to just for people that had not taken the necessary precaution. And a slit seeding job is upwards of, it could be as high as $1,000. Not most of them, but they could be. Whereas the nematodes are $125.
And you just don't want the animals in your neighborhood anyways. Who needs to go walking around in the middle of the night and come face to face with a raccoon? It's not nice for your neighbors, not nice for you or your kids or anything else like that. And the animals remember where they ate last year. Well,
they do. Their memory is really, really good. And the grubs, by the way, once they overwinter, which is what they do, once we come into the fall period, they're going to go down and below the frost line, and they're going to start coming up before we even know it. The snow will still be on the ground, but they sense that spring is coming, and they will come up, and they'll start nibbling away at the roots. So then all of a sudden the snow starts to melt off, and your lawn is gone, and you're wondering what happened, and you didn't even know you had them in the fall. And then you're stuck with reseeding or resodding your entire lawn. I mean, before people look at resodding their lawn, they need to call us and talk about our slit seeding,
right?
Because that's such a good service and inexpensive service compared to the sod. But we can save all that problem for sure.
Now, we've avoided them for a little bit. They went away, but as they say, they're back.
Yeah. When I first got in this business, chinch bugs were huge, and it was damage to all sorts of lawns. And these are just little critters that crawl along on the surface, and they have this long little spout or tongue or something, and they inject into the grass plant at the crown, and they take out some food and put an enzyme in, and it kills the grass. But you'll have thousands of these things running around on your lawn, and usually we don't see these. We haven't seen them in 5 years, or we've seen very few of them. This year we're seeing all sorts of them. Don't know why yet. We're still trying to put all that together, but it is big. Now we have something that we can use that deters them on people's lawns. It won't get rid of 100%, but it will definitely put your lawn into a mode that they don't like, and they will start to move off to some other place. They might even move off to your neighbor's lawn. I'm not sure, but the chinch bug definitely do not like this product that we put down.
Do nematodes work on chinch bugs, or that's a different animal?
Whole different animal on that point. Yeah, now, this is another product.
Now, how does chinch bugs take care of the nematode, the grubs rather, working their way up from underneath and get taken out by animals on top? How do these guys work?
Well, these guys are on the surface,
right?
And there's a section of the plant called the crown, which is a very tender, juicy section right at the surface, and they will go up to that crown and just below the leaf blade, and they'll put their little spout into it, and as I said, they'll take out the food, they'll inject an enzyme, it'll kill the grass plant, then they'll move on to the next one. And once they start breeding and laying eggs, they lay, I don't even know what the number is anymore, but it's you'll see thousands and thousands. But they're so tiny, and they don't cause the same type of damage as the grubs do. But when you start to get thousands and thousands, then you just can't stop them at that point from doing a lot of damage. So what we do is we come in with this product, and we can give an environment that they don't like, and then they will leave your yard, which works out well. What to watch out for in this, Elliot, is if you're watering properly and you're cutting properly and have been for the full season, and you have fertility going down, and then you're still getting brown spots on your lawn, and right now then you should be looking for chinch bugs. They've been around for the last month to 6 weeks, but if you've been doing everything right and you're seeing this, then you give the office a call because you probably have chinch bugs.
And you can give the office a call. It's 739-3399. And if you're not sure, I remember when I first got my lawn, I was fastidious, and I used to call Tom's office every now and then, and can you send? I wasn't sure, and after a while, I started to learn because your people would teach me. No, that that's kind of the normal burn off after the year, and it'll come back. And no, that we have to worry about, or that we don't. So if you see something, don't be afraid to call Nutri-Lawn and say, hey, when one of your vehicles in here, can you let us know what it is? Your people are very well equipped when they come by in the truck as well. They carry around portable devices, and they're able to do. Get information right away about your lawn and your history, I guess, and that type of thing. And
we have the history written in the trucks. We have netbooks in all our trucks, and all the guys are carrying around what they call Note 2s, which are really fancy smartphones. So we're always taking pictures of people's lawns, sending them back to the managers, getting a further diagnosis on an issue that might be there. We send pictures to the clients. Clients send pictures to us. It's a very common thing these days, just so we can be a lot faster on the diagnosis. When people call in, let's say they're calling us in today about the chinch bugs, most people would send us a picture ahead of time and say, okay, here's the picture. Is this what that is? And then we can say, that's definitely what it looks like, and here's what you need to have. So then we don't have to waste the time of say, okay, we'll be out in 2 days to get this, and then we'll be out in 2 more days to get the truck there. This way, you call us today, and we got that thing on the truck in no time.
See how technology changes even amongst the homeowner is something I used to have to call. And you're right, I could just take a picture even on my cell phone.
Yeah.
Send that in, and your people can take a quick look at it. Yeah. 521-8255-521-TALK. If you have any questions lawn related, Thom is very, very knowledgeable about all things lawn, all things weeds, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe you don't know what kind of weed you have got growing there. Give us a call, 521-8255, star 580 on the Bell Mobility System. And, of course, toll-free, 1-800-580-CFRA. On that note, where I say toll-free, what's your range of service? Where do you go in the Ottawa area and surrounding areas?
Oh, pretty much Iron Prairie to Kempville and all the way just this side of Rockland.
Okay. Just on the Ontario side, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ontario side,
okay.
Right.
Is there is there on the Quebec side yet or no?
No, there's no Nutri-Lawn there. I mean, we may well be there in the near future.
Someday?
Yep.
They may benefit from you. Okay. And I mentioned technology again. Facebook, you've got a Facebook page. People go there. I received email, and I guess, am I automatically signed up, or do I have to sign up for email with Nutri-Lawn? You sent out an email a couple of weeks ago about the chinch bugs, I believe it was.
We did.
And I'm reading my email. Oh, I hadn't thought about it. I didn't know about it. I wasn't going to be aware of it. And because I'm a client, I got that information from you.
Yeah, we're really respectful of people's email addresses. So we do get them when people sign on, because we're going to send them information that's very pertinent to their lawns. But what we'll do as well is give them different stages. They may want just a monthly email from us. They may want a weekly email. But anything we send is absolutely pertinent to today for their lawns. We aren't sending you something that's even trying to market you. We just want to talk about, here's the issues on the lawns today, and this is what you need to do. Every one of our emails are like that. But again, we have 2 different levels for people, so it depends on what their comfort level is. We just want to make sure we can communicate. We have Twitter, we have Facebook, we have a blog, we have a fantastic website that has all sorts of information. People tell us that every day. So there's so many ways for us that we reach out to our clients and to non-clients to make sure they have the best possible information that's out there.
Yeah, I noticed that you have on the website, for example, I mean, you get your offers and that type of thing, but you have videos and you have photos showing. Same with Facebook. If you want to get information, nothing like looking at the actual picture and knowing what you're talking about,
right,
and seeing that. You can get that right on the web. So we've sort of covered, the grub situation and something people have got to get on, as well as the chinch bugs. And I want to bring up with the chinch bugs and all of this, I always say, I could do this myself. We're in a do-it-yourself world. Then I see people, and I've seen neighbors do it, and then I look at their lawn, and it's like, what's that burnt out? That's not chinch bugs. That's not this. No, it's my fertilizer that I put on too much, or that's the product I bought. I dropped the bucket by mistake. When you're putting on your product, it's very well controlled. Your guys know what they're doing.
Yeah, they absolutely know what they're doing for sure, but because it can get very dangerous, as many homeowners find out when they're misapplying themselves. But we are changing up our fertilizer all the time. Again, being a local company, we know what's required on that particular week and what needs to be put down. If it's a wet season, we're putting one type of fertilizer down. If it's a dry season, it's another. When you go to, say the big box, you pick up your bag of fertilizer and think you can put that down all season, you're kidding yourself. You're not putting down something that is going to be really beneficial to your lawn to give you the best lawn. Our blends change all the time. We bring fertilizer in by the tractor trailer load, and every time that tractor trailer load comes in, it's a different batch that's there. And it's based on what's happened, it's based on what's coming up, but there's a lot of science, I guess, that goes into that to make sure it's the right one.
And I would think the saving you get as a company, people don't think about this, but when a company your size buys that much, you're buying at such a price that can cover off the labor if you look at the cost of the whole thing versus somebody going to the store themselves and getting it. They're paying more for the product and they're doing the labor. This way, you balance it all out, and wow, it's not costing me any more, and I'm having a professional do the job.
Yeah, for sure. And you get all the advice on the other end, and you get the unlimited online consults if something is that you're concerned about. And if there's an
oops made, nobody ever wants. No businessman wants to talk about their oops. But you know what? I can vouch. We all know I'm in business. You're in business, Tom. Every now and then an oops happens. And it's all in how you take care of it. And Tom, you were mentioning earlier, BBB A+, never been anything other than A+. When there's an issue, Tom is there. Your face is right on your page. You can get a hold of Tom if you need to.
Yes, I'm in the office every day at different times throughout the day. I'm not sitting at my desk the whole time. I'm out and around talking to the guys, finding out what's going on, making sure things are going right, et cetera. But yeah, we have very skilled people in dealing with any issues. You're right. Things happen. And when they do, we want to make sure that we are right there for it. It doesn't happen, bad things don't happen often, but we can fix them anytime that they are because that's what we do. We're A+, no question, always been there, as you said. We plan on keeping that.
Torch Award winner as well. That's something to brag about, actually. Yeah. It's an award that doesn't come very easily, the Better Business Bureau Torch Award, and you've been recognized by some chambers of commerce. You've got all kinds of different awards. We're going to have to take our break. It's already up to 1:46. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about irrigation and some of the other services that Nutri-Lawn has. But if you're about to face, or you don't even know whether you're about to face the chinch bugs or the grubs, give them a call. Give Nutri-Lawn a call, 739-3399, 739-3399. Tell them Tom told you to call, and and I don't know, it'll help. It'll help. It is 1:47. We'll take a break. We'll be back with Experts on Call with Nutri-Lawn Ottawa right here on 580 CFRA.
There's more Experts on Call in a moment on News Talk Radio 580 CFRA. Experts on Call continues on News Talk Radio 580 CFRA.
Welcome back. 150 on 580 CFRA. Every time Tom comes on, I learn something new or I'm reminded of something. And Tom had mentioned earlier about the live nematodes and, the fact that you guys actually take them, look under the microscope and make sure they're alive. It almost sounds silly to bring it up, but, people run out and buy something. They have no idea. It's in a bag, it's in a box, whatever way it comes. I'm not even sure. And just they have no idea of whether what they're doing is even doing any good or not.
Yeah, where ours are guaranteed alive every time. Yep.
It's unbelievable. So we're just on your Facebook page, and if you want to find the Nutri-Lawn Facebook page, very easy. You go Nutri-Lawn Ottawa Facebook, and bingo, there is a picture for those of you that don't know what a grub looks like. And this is a little baby grub, right?
This is a baby grub that was taken just this past week. So this is the size that they're at on most lawns. These grubs won't do a lot of damage, but these grubs will grow up to be about an inch long, inch and a half long, and they will do a lot of damage.
Now, should somebody go out there and just put a little shovel in and peel back a little bit, or?
The biggest and the best indicator is to look up last month and look for the beetles, and if you had them flying around your neighborhood, then that's your indicator.
Right. Yeah, we always, we always almost hear them because they click together, those. And then also on your Facebook page, we were talking about people applying their own stuff. So that's a client that decided to throw some Wipeout on their lawn and just to get rid of a couple of weeds.
Fortunately, it was not. Yeah, it was not a client because we take care of our clients' weeds. This is somebody else that did Roundup on their lawn, and it gets rid of anything that's green, and that lawn is not going to recover. Hopefully, these people will book on for slit seeding as well, so we can help them recover it.
Now, Fiesta is another product you have. It's weed control. And, everybody was up in arms about, how do we control the weeds? How do we control the weeds? There is a product. It's Fiesta. It's, as you mentioned, it's iron-based. It's free. Again, your Facebook page, I learned something new. You can control clover as well.
We can control some of the clovers. Anything that's a woody weed we have difficulty with, but the woody weeds are usually not on well-maintained lawns. So if you're cutting and watering properly and you're overseeding on a regular basis, then the weeds that come up are generally ones that we can control. So it's just perfect. It's the way we want it to be. If you have been not maintaining your lawn and the woody ones have moved in, like wood sorrel, et cetera, then you have an issue.
What about aeration? I see people, they've got shoes, and they walk around the lawn with that.
Yeah, spikes.
And spikes.
Yeah, the spikes don't work well because that just compacts the lawn some more. But the aerations, we do thousands and thousands and thousands of aerations every year. It's a great thing to do for your lawn because it's just like a farmer's field. It opens up the soil, allows the water and the air to get into the root zone and helps it grow a lot better. Because just this snowpack that we get in this country, it really compacts the lawn. So this allows the water to percolate better in the soil. It really has a big impact on the lawn.
And if you have it done by Nutri-Lawn, the plugs that come out don't leave them on the lawn, right? Yeah. They're good. They turn into good fertilizer for the lawn, and it's natural. Yeah. So don't get rid of them. You think they're
Most times when we do aeration now, we're putting down some seed as well. And the reason for that is as the lawn gets tired, we need to introduce new varieties. And the seed that we use is Ottawa blend seed. This is not something that they use in Toronto or Vancouver or Halifax. This is used in Ottawa, and it really helps to rejuvenate the lawn and keep it going over the years as well.
Now, I want to talk about my favorite Nutri-Lawn product, and that's my irrigation system. Yeah. Years ago, when we got our home, I used to have to move that lawn sprinkler about 5 different ways. I had an irregular shaped lawn. Your team came by, they designed a sprinkler, and Tom, close to 18 years of that system, I have, other than a couple of heads that get hit or damaged or whatever. It works like a charm. It's never needed service. You start it up, you close it down every year for me. It's just a charm.
Yeah, it saves you money in watering. And the system that you have, I would call archaic.
It is, yes.
Elliot. So you might want to look at an upgrade at some point. But it works fine, so keep it the way it is. But now what we have is we put into all our new systems is basically a satellite-type system, whereas it's a weather station on your rooftop, and it is saying, gee, we had rain the last couple of days, I'm not going to turn on. Or there's been really windy and a lot of sunshine, well, I'm going to need a little more water. So it's taken all these things, and there's 100 and some odd questions that we answer on these new controllers, and it takes all these things in consideration, and then it waters your lawn accordingly. And if you get into a real dry spell, you can walk up to your controller and you say, you know what, overall, I think I'll take 12% more water. You give it one little twist of the dial, and away you go. Maintenance, they work absolutely wonderfully. We get our customers rave about them because they're so good and they're inexpensive.
Easily paid for itself without a question, without a doubt. My water bill is down. I even noticed when we first started the wasted water that I used to get because, again, the shape of our lawn, I used to water the street with half of the, or if the other thing I used to do is I'd turn on that sprinkler and then I'd go in and I'd forget about it. And then 5 hours later, I come out and go, oops, forgot to turn off the sprinkler. Where this system, all automated, it does it by itself.
And when you say you've had yours for 18 years, which is absolutely true, but that system has paid for itself. It was free.
Easy.
Yeah. It was. If it didn't pay for itself in water, it paid for itself in the lack of repairs that you had to do on your lawn because you didn't have to resod or reseed over the years. All these things adding up, it was a free system for you.
Absolutely. And every year, your people come in, they blow it out properly. That's another thing. If you're going to close now, if somebody hasn't bought their irrigation system from you, will you still take care of it in terms of closing it and opening it for them?
Absolutely. It happens every year. We get many people phone us up and say, hey, can what kind of compressors do you have? And once we explain the CFM, et cetera, that we have, they say, that's what I'm looking for. Because you don't want these little rinky-dink things showing up. They don't do anything. All you're going to do is leave water. It's going to freeze. It's going to cause you damage. No. When we go in there, we are blowing out your system. It is a professional method that we use, and all our guys know exactly how to do it.
Now, Tom, you mentioned an elevator pitch before. We have a 2-minute elevator ride here. So we've got, before we have to get off the air. So I want to give us the last sort of 2 minutes. Let's give us the whole Nutri-Lawn picture in a 2-minute little session here.
Wow, so way to catch a guy off guard. Thanks very much for that, Elliot. I appreciate it. You must have run out of words yourself. I think where it needs to go on that, Elliot, thank you for it, and it's the Nutri-Lawn service group and all the things that we can do. We have the lawn care division, 24 years, as I said before. We guarantee everything we do with that, and what's really, really big is it's unlimited on-lawn consults. We can control your grubs, your chinch bugs, your weeds, make your lawn green, make your house look fantastic. Sprinkler systems, we've been doing that for so many years. You keep reminding me it's 18 years that they are marvelous. We had to go through a bidding process with recently on the new Lansdowne Park, and we did get all the contracts there for irrigation. We're very proud of that because that was a tough go, and the whole thing took many, many months to make sure that we were the right company for that. But we do residential as well. We do hundreds and hundreds of residential systems. We do repairs and all sorts of systems. It saves you so much time and money. Once you have had an irrigation system, if you move, you will put a new irrigation system into your house just because you find out how easy it is to keep your place maintained.
Is it easier to do it if I'm buying a new house, by the way, just very quickly? Is it easy it's better to get it done right away, right? Because it can go in underneath before they put it down?
It doesn't matter because the equipment that we have, when you see the equipment we bring on your property, it's just
it's not going to matter.
Slices things in the way you go. We have a Christmas lights division, we have a landscape lighting division, and all to make your home beautiful, make you really happy at Christmas time. So everything we do is all about spectacular things.
Excellent. Thom Bourne, President and General Manager of Nutri-Lawn Ottawa. You can get them at NutriLawnOttawa.com. Check them out at Facebook. Just punch in Nutri-Lawn Ottawa. You can phone them at 739-3399. We're out of time this week. I think we're back in a couple of weeks, though.
We are, 2 weeks.
If people have any questions, they can certainly email you, get a hold of you, or give us a call in the air. That's it for this hour of Experts on Call right here on News Talk Radio 580 CFRA.